Hello everyone, welcome to my channel all about biology, and this is Jyoti Verma. Today we are going to discuss about the electron transport chain or the electron transport system. It is also called as the oxidative phosphorylation. The electron transport chain takes place within the mitochondria and specifically within the inner membrane of the mitochondria. As you all are aware about the structure of the mitochondria consists of an outer membrane and inner membrane, which consists of some finger-like projections. The space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane is called as the intermembrane space, and the central space is filled with a fluid which is called as the matrix. So electron transport chain basically consists of a series of membrane bound structures that are meant to transfer the electron to the ultimate electron acceptor, that is your oxygen. Okay, so the inner membrane basically consists of 5 complexes. The first complex is your NADH dehydrogenase complex. This is your NADH dehydrogenase complex, which is inverted L-shaped in structure. It consists of 2 different subunits. This subunit is encoded by the mitochondrial genome and this subunit is encoded by the nuclear genome. Okay. Next to it is the complex 2, which is called as the succinate dehydrogenase complex. This is your succinate dehydrogenase complex. Next to it is the complex 3, which is called as the cytochrome BC1 complex. Complex 4, which is called as cytochrome C oxidase complex, and next one is your complex 5, which is called as the ATP synthase complex. Okay. So these are the 5 complexes that are present within the inner membrane of the mitochondria, and they play a part in the electron transport chain. So in electron transport chain, basically what happens, the NADH as well as the FADH2 that were formed earlier in the process of glycolysis as well as in the process of Krebs cycle are used here. These are oxidized here, and the electrons from their oxidation are accepted by oxygen. And in this process what happens, that there is pumping of protons from the matrix into the intermembrane space. After that, the protons from the intermembrane space are taken back into the matrix. That process is done by the ATP synthase complex, and during this process ATP is formed. Okay, so we can say that from NADH and from FADH2 there is formation of ATP in the electron transport chain. Okay, so firstly we will take up the NADH. So the NADH that we have gained earlier in the process of glycolysis as well as in the process of Krebs cycle are used here. So firstly what happens, the NADH undergoes oxidation, that is there is loss of electrons from NADH and it will convert into NAD. These electrons are accepted by electron carriers in the complex 1. So in the complex 1, the 2 electrons from the oxidation of NADH are accepted by flavin mononucleotide. Then these electrons are transferred from FMN to iron sulfur centers. There are 4 iron sulfur centers which are named as N1, N3, N4 and N2. Then these 2 electrons from the iron sulfur centers are directly transferred to the ubiquinone. These are not transferred to the complex 2. You have to clearly focus it on that the 2 electrons are directly transferred to the ubiquinone. Okay. After that, what happens, as soon as these 2 electrons are transferred to the ubiquinone, 4 protons from the matrix are pumped outside into the intermembrane space. Okay, as these 2 electrons are accepted by ubiquinone, at the same time complex 1 pumps out 4 protons from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So these protons will move out into the intermembrane space. So these protons have been pumped out from the matrix into the intermembrane space. Okay, now what happens as soon as the ubiquinone accepts 2 electron, it gets converted into ubiquinol. It takes 2 protons from the matrix and it gets converted into ubiquinol. Okay, so when ubiquinone accepts 2 electron as well as 2 protons from the matrix, it gets converted into ubiquinol. Okay, now what happens, this ubiquinol transfers its electron to the complex 3. As soon as this ubiquinol transfers its electron, the 2 electron that it has received from the complex 1 to the complex 3, there is pumping of 2 protons. So these 2 protons have been pumped as soon as the electrons are transferred to the complex 3. Now these 2 electrons in the complex 3 are accepted by iron sulfur centers. Then these are accepted by the cytochrome C1. Now these 2 electrons are transferred to next electron carrier. Next electron carrier is your cytochrome C. This cytochrome C is mobile in nature and it will carry only a single electron at a time. Okay, so as soon as a single electron is transferred from cytochrome C1 to cytochrome C, 2 more protons from the complex 3 are pumped from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So overall 4 protons are pumped from the matrix into the intermembrane space by the complex 3. Okay. So that is how 4 protons are pumped by the complex 3 from the matrix into the intermembrane space. Okay, now what happens? The electrons from the cytochrome C1 are transferred to the cytochrome C. Now this cytochrome C has accepted an electron. It will move out and then it will transfer that single electron to the complex 4, and then again it will come back to its position and take another electron. Okay, so in this way cytochrome C transfers only a single electron at a time to the complex 4. Now the electrons have been transferred to the complex 4. Then these electrons are transferred to the copper center A, then to the cytochrome A, and then to the cytochrome A3. Then ultimately the 2 electrons are accepted by oxygen. That oxygen molecule will take 2 more protons from the matrix and ultimately it will form a single water molecule. As soon as the electrons are transferred to the oxygen, 2 more protons are pumped out from the matrix into the intermembrane space by the complex 4. So these 2 protons move from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So in this way these 2 protons have been pumped from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So overall for one molecule of NADH, how many protons have been pumped out from the matrix into the intermembrane space? So these are overall 10 protons. 4 protons from the complex 1, 4 protons from the complex 3 and 2 protons from the complex 4 have been pumped out from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So from one molecule of NADH we will be able to pump out 10 protons. Okay, so from one molecule of NADH there will be pumping of 10 protons. Now we are going to discuss about the formation of ATP. How the formation of ATP is coupled with this electron transfer, we are going to discuss about that. So all these protons have been pumped outside as a result of electron transfer through these complexes. Now these protons present in the intermembrane space carry free energy that needs to be utilized for the formation of ATP, and that work is done by the ATP synthase complex. So what happens, this ATP synthase complex that consists of two subunits, F0 subunit and F1 subunit, it will pump in 4 protons. It will pump in 4 protons and it will form one ATP in this process. So when ATP synthase complex pump 4 protons, there will be formation of 1 ATP. So how many protons we are having in the intermembrane space? We are having 10 protons in the intermembrane space. So while pumping these 10 protons from the intermembrane space into the matrix, ATP synthase complex will form 2.5 ATP. I repeat, ATP synthase complex will form 2.5 ATP because we are having here 10 protons. So what happens, 4 protons are pumped inside, there will be formation of 1 ATP. Again 4 protons will be pumped inside, there will be formation of again 1 ATP. And remaining what we are having left here, 2 protons are left here because there are 10 protons. 4 protons have been pumped inside. Now only 2 protons are left. So these are also pumped inside and there will be formation of 2.5 ATP in this process according to the latest values. So by the pumping of 4 protons, there will be formation of 1 ATP. So by the pumping of 10 protons, there will be formation of 2.5 ATP. So in this sense, we can calculate that 1 NADH molecule will give you 2.5 ATP because it is ultimately NADH that is giving you electrons, that is transferred through the electron transfer chain, and there is pumping of protons. So NADH will ultimately gives you 2.5 ATP that have been formed here by the ATP synthase complex. Now we are going to discuss about the FADH2. So the FADH2 that have been formed earlier in the Krebs cycle is used here in the electron transport chain, and this is utilized by the complex 2. There is no role of the complex 1 in the case of FADH2. So the electrons by the oxidation of FADH2 are taken by the complex 2. These two electrons are transferred to the iron sulfur centers, then these are taken by the ubiquinone, then these 2 electrons are transferred to the ubiquinone. Okay, the processes are same as in the case of NADH we have done, but the only difference in the case of FADH2 is that there is no role of the complex 1. So the 2 electrons from the iron sulfur centers are taken up by the ubiquinone. The ubiquinone will convert into the ubiquinol by accepting 2 protons from the matrix. These 2 electrons are transferred from the ubiquinol to the complex 3. Ultimately, these 2 electrons are carried by the iron sulfur centers then to the cytochrome C1. Then the cytochrome C1 will transfer only a single electron to the cytochrome C, and as the electrons are transferred to the cytochrome C, there is pumping of 4 protons from the matrix into the intermembrane space by the complex 3. So complex 3 will pump out 4 protons. So these 4 protons have been pumped by the complex 3 from the matrix into the intermembrane space as the electrons are transferred to the cytochrome C. Now the cytochrome C will carry only a single electron at a time and it will transfer that electron to the complex 4. Then again it comes back to its position and it will take an electron and then again it transfer to the complex 4. Now the electrons in the complex 4 are taken up by the copper center A, then to the cytochrome A, then to the cytochrome A3, and ultimately these electrons are accepted by the oxygen. The ultimate electron acceptor is oxygen. Oxygen accepts the electron and two more protons from the matrix and it will form water. Okay, and as soon as the electrons are transferred to the oxygen, two more protons from the complex 4 are pumped outside from the matrix into the intermembrane space. So these two protons have been pumped outside by the complex 4. Now what happens due to the presence of these protons within the intermembrane space? There is generation of a free energy. There is free energy within these protons that needs to be utilized for the formation of ATP. So again, what happens in this case? The ATP synthase complex pumps inside these protons and there will be formation of ATP. So for one FADH2 molecule, how many protons have been pumped outside from the matrix into the intermembrane space? 6 protons. Okay, 4 protons from the complex 3 and 2 protons from the complex 4. So from one FADH2 molecule, 6 protons have been pumped outside because there is no role of the complex 1 in the case of FADH2. Then these protons are again pumped inside by the ATP synthase complex and ultimately in that process there will be formation of ATP. And as you all know that according to the recent concept, when 4 protons have been pumped inside, there will be formation of 1 ATP. So from 6 protons, when these protons are pumped inside, there will be formation of how much ATP? From 4 protons we will get 1 ATP. Then from 6 protons we will get how much ATP? We will get 1.5 ATP. That's why we can conclude that from one molecule of FADH2 there will be formation of 1.5 ATP. That is the electron transport chain in which there is formation of ATP, and that value of ATP that I am telling to you is according to the latest concept. So one NADH molecule will give you 2.5 ATP and one FADH2 molecule will give you 1.5 ATP. Okay, so this is very simplified diagram for the BSc students because the diagram that I have told you earlier is for the MSc level. So if in case you have some difficulty in understanding that, you can understand from this also. This is very simplified form of the electron transport chain. So in this case what is happening here, firstly for your NADH undergoes oxidation and it gives 2 electron to the complex 1. Okay, so you have not to learn about the FMN or the iron sulfur centers. You just simply make a square box and label it as complex 1. So these 2 electrons are accepted by the complex 1. Then these 2 electrons are transferred to the ubiquinone. As soon as the 2 electrons are transferred to the ubiquinone, 4 protons are pumped out from the matrix into the intermembrane space. After that what happens? The ubiquinone carries the 2 electron, it gets converted into ubiquinol and then it again transfers its electron to the complex 3. The complex 3 transfers its electron to the cytochrome C. Cytochrome C is mobile in nature and it will carry only a single electron at a time. So cytochrome C will carry the electron, single electron at a time, and 4 protons have been pumped out by the complex 3 in this process. After that, the cytochrome C transfers its electron to the complex 4 and these 2 electrons are ultimately accepted by the oxygen. So the ultimate or the final electron acceptor in the case of electron transport chain is oxygen. Oxygen accepts 2 electron and 2 more protons from the matrix and it will form water. and in this process the complex 4 will pump 2 protons. So overall for one molecule of NADH there will be pumping out of 4 plus 4 plus 2 is equals to 10 protons. So 10 protons have been pumped out for one molecule of NADH. Then these protons in the intermembrane space need to be taken back into the matrix, and this work is done by the ATP synthase complex, and ATP synthase complex forms 1 ATP as it pumps 4 protons. So on the pumping of 4 protons it will form 1 ATP. That's why for the pumping of 10 protons it will form 2.5 ATP according to the latest and recent concept. So from 1 NADH you will have the gain of 2.5 ATP. Now we are talking about the FADH2. FADH2 will oxidize and it will transfer its 2 electron to complex 2. Remember that in the case of FADH2 there is no role of complex 1. Then these 2 electrons from the complex 2 are transferred to the ubiquinone. From the ubiquinone these are transferred to the complex 3. From the complex 3, only a single electron at a time is transferred to the cytochrome C, and at the same time complex 3 pumps 4 protons. Then the electrons from the cytochrome C are accepted by the complex 4, in which these are ultimately accepted by oxygen that leads to the formation of water. And in this process 2 protons are pumped out by the complex 4. So in the case of FADH2 there is pumping of total 6 protons. So 1 FADH2 will pump out 6 protons from the matrix into the intermembrane space. Then these protons need to be taken back, these 6 protons need to be taken back from the intermembrane space into the matrix, which is done by the ATP synthase complex. So ATP synthase complex will form 1.5 ATP in the case of FADH2. So from one molecule of FADH2 you will be able to get 1.5 ATP. So this is very simplified form of the diagram of electron transport chain for the BSc students so that they can understand it in a easy manner. So this is all about the electron transport chain, and if you like the video just subscribe to my channel for further updates. Thank you so much.